By Jove. By Jove, Mrs. Hey, guess what?
You know, as if the morning hasn't just gone already. But anyway, hi.
I've been busy. I've had a busy morning today so far. Hey, now today it is Monday, right? And so far I can't find my special headset, so I don't know where that's gone. Have you got it?
Let me just check. Hang on.
Yeah, if you could just.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're here.
Oh no! Hang on.
Julia
McDermott. No, first out. Andrea Lucas. Thank you, baked potato.
Thank you, baked potato.
There you go.
One more time because I love it so much.
Thank you, baked potato.
Love it. Andrea Lucas first out of the gate there. Julia McDermott. Hi there. I'm going to call you guys. Give me a moment. Stephen Marsh. What's this? I might paint myself. Well, you might want to read that.
Stephen Marsh says, I might paint myself turquoise today. Or maybe navy, ultramarine, or cobalt. Then listen to Mr. Yeah, that as well. Whatever. It's not my fault. Yeah. Another shade of blue. Then listen to Mr. Blue Sky, Barry Blue, and some Blue Oyster Cult. Crumbs.
Barry Blue is one of the nicest people in the world, as my cousin, handsome men, Francine Warner, will attest. Barry Blue, what a lovely, lovely guy. Ed Grossman, happy Monday all. Barry J. Allen. Barry J. Allen. Always good to channel a little bit of Freddie.
Hang on, we can play them all in one hit now because look who's just joined.
Oh, this year I'm off to sunny Spain. Viva España.
Yes, that's right. Chrissy Holt joins the conversation as well. Hi, Chrissy.
This is good. Hi, boys. Very cold. Well, you would live in Spain. And Paul Rose, hello. Andrea Lucas, apparently not working today as the surgery is doing COVID vaccination. Now, I have got a shocking vaccination story that absolutely shocked me rigid. Not about the vaccine itself, but I need to ask permission from the person who told me I don't want it going out. Do I need to ask permission? I'm not sure I do. I'm not sure I do need to ask it. I won't mention any names.
Russell.
What's going on? Philip.
Very exciting. Suddenly, I'm transported right into the heart of Soho.
Oh, hello.
With
not that shop again where I keep pulling you out saying it's not for you, Phil.
A little tot of something cheeky, and it's not just because my bimber arrived this morning. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Bimber,
yeah. Look at that bimber, especially done for Soho.
I don't know what bimber is.
It's a distillery.
You've been showing this to me all morning, and I still don't know what it is. It's a distillery.
So this has been sort of specifically bottled for Soho Whiskey Club. Mine arrived this morning.
Right.
Bottle number 76, if you please. I preferred 86, but never mind. Anyway, the upshot is that I'm really well and truly transferred because joining us on the line now
is
it's only Juliet McDermott. Hi, Juliet.
Hello. I thought I'd call because trying to type this out would take too long, and I have to go drug running at 12:30. Deliver
naturally
people. But we've been talking about mental health and how this is affecting people. And I just thought I'd share something with you, which I think is extremely heartbreaking. My granddaughter, my 5-year-old granddaughter, very sociable and personable little girl. As you know, I do a story time with her at 5 o'clock every evening so her mum can get her lesson plans done and her dad can get his work done. And on Friday, she just burst into tears and said, Nana, I'm very sad and I don't know why. And I just thought that was very heartbreaking. And we kind of got to the crux of it. It was because they were doing a Zoom school assembly on the Friday morning, and she was very upset that because one of her friends had been made Star of the Week, and she couldn't give them a hug, a physical hug, and say well done. Which I just thought it was heartbreaking. It's horrible. I just thought. She's 5. She shouldn't have to be going through this.
But doesn't that just go to show the way that there are so many people who I've heard, they've all say, oh, children are so resilient. They'll bounce back. Don't worry about it.
They're like dogs.
Do worry about it. It's actually
about it because the dogs are picking it up as well. I can assure you. The dogs get it.
The earliest years, the most influential, damn it. So, of course, this is going to happen.
To you.
Yeah, quite.
It is. I mean, she was just, she's not been able to see her friends. She's not been able to. I mean, she's lucky. She lives in a beautiful part of the world. She lives in the New Forest, or just at the edge of the New Forest. So she's got a back garden, and beyond the back garden, there is, you can go out of her back garden onto a back field, and then there is the New Forest. So her and her friends, when it's been nice, they've been able to go out and play on the back field, socially distancing, of course. But it's for her, it's just not the same, obviously. And this is the first time that she's been, really down about it.
Yeah, well, the kids are missing their friends. They're missing school. And, at first it seemed like a laugh. I'm sure the kids go, yay, no school, whoopee. And then it dawned on them, oh, God, this is the extent of our universe. And it sucks. It's driving the parents absolutely mad. And the parents are getting upset and they're stressing because homeschooling, thank God that's all well past me. But the homeschooling is tough. It's not a joke. It's a problem.
With my granddaughter's school, they actually wanted to stay open. There's only about 100 pupils in the school, so they wanted to stay open.
Is the school in is it a log cabin in a little tiny clearing in the forest?
It might just as well be. It's very tiny. There's about 120 pupils in the entire school, out of from reception class to year 6. So
that's good. That's good news. That's a good thing, though, isn't it? That's a good. I mean,
they
went to a school with 20,000 people per class, and look what happened. It's never, ever. Anyway, how far are you running today, Grandma? How far are you running today?
I'm running today. Yes, I've got to be out of here by 12:30. So I shall watch the first half hour. And,
bless you. That is good news. Well, Juliet, I have to say that Phil and I aren't missing seeing your charming face and your endless tales of stalking pop stars over the years. So one day we will see each other again. God only knows when, but we will.
We will.
Look, can I remind everyone that sort of when the spring and summer comes along, and hopefully most people have been vaccinated, there will be permission to meet in gatherings of 6 in an outdoor environment once more. I'm sure of it, because it worked last summer. There's nothing to say that it won't work this summer with the vaccination on top of it. So when that happens, I'm sorry, but I think the obvious place, here we come. Nice little outdoor terrace, couple of tots in hand. Marvellous.
Marvellous.
Cigar, whiskey.
Yeah. Juliet will be there with a meerschaum pipe and half an ounce of ready rub shag.
Good Lord. I have absolutely no idea what you just said, but as long as Juliet's laughing, I'm happy. Juliet,
take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that was a nice way to start Monday.
Lovely way. I got something to say. Well, Ramsey, have you bought a joke book this morning?
I know, Ramsey's off on one today.
Absolutely shocking. We got loads of stuff, but
I can only assume it's the crackers that he wasn't allowed to open at Christmas time because he didn't have enough people.
You think he's sitting there Monday morning on his own pulling a cracker?
Yes.
So
I do rather enjoy this one though. Ramsey says, to whoever stole my copy of Microsoft Office, I will find you. You have my word. Hey, thank you very much.
Absolutely classic. I like that. Andrea Lucas is agreeing with Juliet McDermott. They're challenging for both parents and children. And Lloyd Raymond Beanie, when you have you got your bottle of thing handy?
I have.
Because he just went yum-tastic.
And also, excuse me, have a look at this. Look, hang on a second. If I open up the lid very carefully.
How many bottles you got on the go at the moment, by the way? You got loads?
I think.
Oh, that looks good.
Sorry, do you mean open or do you mean in terms of sort of actually on the go-go?
Answer to both questions. Bimbo.
Okay. Right, so hang on a second. So this one here, you see, this is bottle number 76.
Yeah. Trombones led the big parade. Yeah.
187, so that's not bad going.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Very good. It wasn't cheap. It wasn't cheap, but it looks a beautiful color. That looks a gorgeous color.
It wasn't. It has to be said, though, that I'm pleased that I collect this as opposed to drink it because it was done in sherry cask, and as you know, that's not my thing. So, even so.
But, What is my most favourite whiskey?
Well, you can't tell me it's Bimber. You didn't even know what it was 2 seconds ago.
It's sherry cask. I don't need to know anymore. It's sherry cask. I like sherry cask. I like red wine cask. That's it. That's what I like. I know what I like, and I like what I know. Right. Yumtastic. Yumtastic, says Lloyd. Right. Ken Elm Janur, you are stirring it up, baby. When will you guys have Mayor Kant on live? He'd never come on the show.
Well, I think we've got him
I
on.
won't be able to keep my temper. I'll be honest with you, Ken Elm. I couldn't keep my temper if I got him on the show. I don't even know where to start. If you don't live in London, you couldn't give a monkeys. I don't blame you. But I do live in London, and it's just trashed it.
Dave Sleet says, for some peculiar reason, Happy Winnie the Pooh Day.
It is Winnie the Pooh Day.
Is it?
Yeah, it actually is.
Oh.
It actually is Winnie the Pooh. Chrissy Holt says this. Would you care to read this, Philip, in your beautiful tones?
Listen to this. Very authoritative.
Listen to this.
17 communities here who want central government to close Spain completely because cases are going up. Want curfew 8 till 6, which will be 8 p.m. to 6 a.m., one assumes.
Yep.
Won't do it. They say that communities can make their own rules, but Castilla y Leon, I assume that's the right way of saying it, who have made curfew 8 p.m. to 6 p.m. Really? Surely 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. No, 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. I would have thought that must be. Are being taken to court by central government. Crazy. What do you think? Oh, God. How long have you got, Chrissy? Bearing in mind that none of our pubs and restaurants are open at all at the moment, I'd say that an 8 p.m. to a 6 a.m. curfew isn't bad going, really.
Let's get on to more important matters. I've no idea. I don't know. Christy, my honest answer is I don't know what works and what doesn't work anymore. I haven't a clue, so I can't even comment. I don't know what you're supposed to say. I took the dog out yesterday for a walk. It was like the M25 out. I got furious. It's just impossible. Now, Lloyd Jimmy, this is right up your street. You'll like this. You'll like
scenic route for future reference.
I do take. I have to take the most obscure routes now to try and avoid, or I have to walk the dog at 11:30 or midnight.
I think you're walking her on the M25.
You're an idiot. Lloyd Beanie, talking of English whiskies, can I suggest Sacred Whiskey brewed in, wait for it, Highgate? Really? The well-known Scottish lock of Highgate. Absolutely wunderbar, if a tad costly. Lloyd and I had a phrase since we knew each other in the very early 70s. And we'd look at something, and he and I would, if I'd bought something or he'd bought something, we'd go, what costs a thing like this? I always forget the number of ridiculous little catchphrases that he and I have had since I'm going to work it up.
Russell.
73. Yeah, what?
Russell, I need to ask a favour. Can you fly solo for a minute? I just need to go and check on my stew.
One day, the next time I see him, I'm just going to throat punch him. I think that's the way forward. Good afternoon, says Angela Lee. Good afternoon to you. Now, right. So Julie McDermott is a runner. And she says, I was running on Saturday and the World and his wife were in Oxford. Well, I wasn't. And my kids left. So it's nuts out there. Now, I don't want to bang on about this, but I'm going to. The runners, the joggers, right? I know you're trying to keep fit, but you're coming past. You're not ever, God forbid, wearing a mask. You don't own the pavement. Could you just move aside a little bit? And you come down with this, like you're carrying the cross to Calvary look on your faces, and you're panting and you're huffing. And how can that be healthy for anybody else? Anybody else? Paul Rose, 3 teenage boys came to visit their mate yesterday who lives next door. Oh, for goodness sake. He didn't come out, and then they hung around outside. I really wanted to say something, but I figured that the repercussions would probably be worse. Oh, well. Yeah, like if they were 12, you'd probably be all right. Anything over that, you're in for a right old kicking there. His stew, no, it won't. Oh, it might be a vegetable stew. To be honest, I don't know. I try not to get involved in his entire cooking. Basically, Men's Radio Station, the schedule is based around Phil Dave's cooking schedule. Fridays, it's holler. Monday, stew. Who knew? Love your jacket. It's actually, thank you very much, Chrissy. It's actually a shirt. And I thought, I'll tell you why I put it on. I'll tell you why. Because today they say, it's Blue Monday. And that makes me see red. Oh, you're back?
No, do you know what? I've actually been back a while, but I just thought I'd see what it was like as a listener for a while to how
Really
the show.
great. Isn't it great? Be honest, it's so much better without you.
Yeah, it's not bad. Have you ever thought of a career in radio?
Work out. Answer everybody's question. Go on, because we're never going to get on to what I want to talk about. What's in the stew?
What's
the recipe today, Jim?
Well, hang on a second, because
Andy, on BBC Radio. Go on.
Because Andy Lucas has said that I make a great vegetarian casserole and add dumplings and lots of beans and pulses.
No.
Sounds lovely.
No, sounds awful. Sounds awful.
Anyway,
if you can leave out the pulses, I'm in. Put the pulses in, nish, because they hate me. The pulses hate me. Lentils hate me.
I've always suspected you not have much of a pulse, but anyway.
What's that? Veg chili.
Okay. Anyway, so in the stew, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head what's in it, but roughly there is spinach, there's broccoli, sweet corn pepper, tomatoes, mushrooms, bit of vegetarian chicken, and potato.
What is a vegetarian chicken? What is it?
It's a chicken that doesn't eat meat.
No, what is it? It's like people say, I'm having a vegetarian sausage. No, you're not. You're having God knows what, shaped like a sausage. It's not a sausage.
Okay. Well, it's probably soya lecithin or something like that. That's it.
Soya what?
Lecithin or something like that. It's like a sort of soy manufactured product. It's quite nice, actually. It's done in the style of kebab meat.
I'm not feeling well suddenly. Vegetarian chicken is an egg, says Paul Rose. Ed Grossman, are the dumplings canola? Unlikely.
No, but I've also got, there's two things on the go today. So there's the vegetarian stew, and then there's also some vegetable soup as well. Now, I think you'd have more sympathy if you learned the reason why I'm doing so much cooking at the moment.
No, you're going to make me feel guilty. Go on.
I am going.
Oh, try.
No, okay. So you know that this weekend my folks went to go have the COVID vaccine, round one.
I did.
Yes, which is really good news. Obviously, they're very happy.
They went to Costco and they got 27 each.
Absolutely, all went well. Apart from one minor snag, is that they were warned that apparently they could develop flu-like symptoms for anything up to 24 to 48 hours after. And unfortunately, my mother has sort of developed said symptoms, but she's doing better today. But yesterday it was a little bit rough around the edges. So
now this is important stuff because you're the first person that we can talk about it in depth.
Oh,
well, probably. You are, aren't you? Everybody's saying, should I get it? Shouldn't I? How bad? Be honest. How ill was Linda Dave?
Well, look, she hasn't been her usual chipper self over the last 24 hours because she's been feeling a bit miserable. But I do think it's really important to stress that she has, typically speaking, had flu very badly in the past. So any flu-like virus does affect her in rather a spectacular sort of way. So I don't think it's anything just to worry about. It's just a bit unhappy. Yes.
If you were living with me, I'd be miserable.
Well, there you go. You see, that's probably
I don't think it's got anything to do with the vaccinations at all. I think she just woke up and thought, oh, Christ.
Andy Lucas says, wish her better.
Yeah, absolutely wish her better.
Angela Lee says, get well, Linda. So that's very nice. Thank you very much.
What does she feel? What has she got? I mean, it's important because people want to know, and I'm not, well, I am praying. Has she got a temperature? Has she got a cough? She just feels
no temperature.
Tired? What's the deal?
I think the description was just a bit achy. So achy limbs was the best way to put it.
Well, I've pulled my back, so welcome to my world. Now, Ramsey, my wife.
Very glassy eyes, but they seem to be better this morning, thankfully.
She had glassy. How's your dad feeling?
Oh, he's fine. Carrying on as normal.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think there's no rhyme or reason. Stephen Marsh, have I tuned into the Fanny and Johnny show? Just drop my monocle. And may your donuts. I'm not doing the rest of the gag. Ramsey, my wife made a lovely sausage don't. Francine, I know, will be laughing. Many years ago, I don't think I tell the story. Okay. It involves another cousin. We went over for dinner and she made cassoulet. God.
Pray do
Francine,
tell.
Francine, get Michael on the phone. Get him on the phone. It's the best story. Proper port sausages. Do you mean pork sausages or port sausage? I don't know what that is. Red
I'll be
wine, beans, tomatoes, yum. And there was wine left to wash it down.
Marvelous.
Well, let's go back to something political here. I wanted to just for a second because I've lost the blooming thing. Where does
you're finding it? I personally prefer the sound of port sausages than pork.
Yeah, pork sausages sound good. Here we go. Ken Jr. That's what I was looking for. Get Kant. That's Sadiq Khan, Mayor of London, if you don't know, on live and have him answer listeners' questions. You can act as an honest referee. Yeah, that's going to happen. And then we've got Ed Grossman saying Sadiq Khan will only go on the James O'Brien show so he can be spoon-fed. I'm not going to go down that road, but you won't find any argument from me on that one, Ed, at all.
Chrissy has asked a really interesting question, which I wasn't going to bring up, but she said, Phil, is your mum worse because she has arthritis quite badly? That's really strange you say that, Chrissy, because she said she couldn't really tell where the arthritis ended and the flu-like symptoms began. So it's really strange you say that. So yeah, it probably is the case. Isn't that weird?
Paul Claridge. Oh, go back up your ladder, Paul. If Phil tells any glass jokes, I will glaze over. What is the matter with everybody today?
I'm telling you.
What is this? This is like wheel shunters and tappers or whatever it was, social club today.
I'm telling you, they've found their leftover Christmas crackers that they can't use until maybe, well, at least the end of this year, if not.
Now, let's go back to your mum, which is, it's very important. The reason I'm doing that is because people want to know, if other people are in the vanguard of getting these vaccinations, they'd like to know. Andrea Lucas.
Thank you, baked potato.
Says, all I had was a slightly sore arm for a couple of days. That's okay. That's good.
It does seem to vary. And look, for what it's worth, she didn't develop anything, thank God, that they weren't already aware of. They said at the time of their injections that just be aware, you may develop flu-like symptoms. If it goes on longer than 48 hours, you might need to get in touch, have a COVID test and make sure it hasn't turned nasty. But I don't understand how that's the case because they had the Oxford vaccine. Apparently the Oxford vaccine didn't contain the virus. So not entirely sure how that happens.
I'm lost. Hang on. What? You're not telling me you could get this from having the... Oh,
well, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand how. But what I would imagine they're doing is that they're just ruling out that it hasn't brought out the virus that may already be lurking, if you see what I mean. Because the biggest problem with this virus is that it stays dormant for about 7 to 10 days. That's the biggest issue with it. So
people forget that.
Yeah, so you've no idea if you come into contact with somebody until really it's well and truly too late. But in the meantime, of course, you're spreading it all over the place. So I suppose that what they were getting at is that they wanted to make sure that within the previous 10 days, she hadn't come into contact with somebody else who maybe had it or passed it on to her. Highly, highly unlikely. Been isolating like no one's business. So as far as I'm...
But seriously, haven't we all? I'm an absolute freaking hermit. It's driving me nuts. Kimmy Lashmar, very, very good point, Kimmy. I want to know because Mum's vaccination is Thursday. Now, my good friend Hilary O'Neill, her mum, Showbiz Val, as we call her, the MILF of Milford. Val went and had, Hilary took her, and she's had the vaccination. And of course, Hilary, being Showbiz royalty, it was done in a theatre. Could you believe it? I couldn't believe only she could pull off having a vaccination in a theatre. I presume Hilary did a 20-minute spot. Now, here we go. Paul Claridge, quite right, actually, Paul. Sadiq Khan Mayor Khan is a regular guest on Eddie Nestor's show. Come on, London, send me a text. He promises a lot but delivers little. Next time he'll be on...
That was very good. Poor Eddie.
Next time he's on, he'll be taken to task by Eddie, me, and others on the subject of homelessness. And stand by, sound effect department. Crazy name, crazy girl. Eve Phantom's job. I thought she was working. Those shelves in Lidl will not stack themselves.
Might I just say good eve?
Yep. Ed, why do you say that?
It's rude. What's wrong with you, man?
Ed, he's a very nice man. Well, do you not like him? It's a personal taste. There's people on radio I absolutely can't abide, and other people that I love. She's having shh. Apparently, she's got a new job.
Do we have to whisper now?
And she's saying, I'm having a sneaky listen.
Ooh. You rebel.
Which is worrying because, to be honest, she's a frontline brain surgeon. How's that working out?
Plays havoc with the mind. Thanks. Anyway.
Can you imagine? Where's the scalpel? What? Scalpel. You got to have the one? I left it. It's in the car. Nesta. Oh, hang on, Ed.
Stop it.
No, there is nothing worse than no. No.
Excuse me, Mr. Grossman. Can I tell you that he's a colleague and friend? So
he's a very nice Ed. I know you've never met him, but Eddie's a very nice guy. I've never met James O'Brien. Be honest, I'm sure he feels the same about me. I've no desire to. I don't think it would be a love match. But Eddie Nesta's very. Actually, all the people that were at the place where I used to be, they're all very nice, to be honest. Well, a couple of exceptions. Stephen Marsh, is that you of the opera? Yes. Have you just worked that, Stephen? Stephen, we've been doing this gag for 2 years. Now then, no, that's an email coming up. I wanted to say something. Somebody said nice jacket. It's not a jacket, it's a shirt. And the reason I'm wearing it is, it's a vaguely important point, not my shirt. Today they keep saying, it's Blue Monday, it's Blue Monday. So I go, oh, I don't know, was that like a sale? You know, Curry's discounted everything by 50% or something. No, Blue Monday, they say, it's the most depressing day of the year. Take a number and wait in line is what I say. But if you tell somebody this is the most depressing day of the year, it goes into their psyche. I think it's a shocking thing to do. I think it's so unhelpful. So to give the finger to Blue Monday, I just put on a more jolly shirt because that's how I feel. I honestly think it's everything about mental health is your attitude. Yeah, Paul Rose, Blue Monday, because the rest of the year has been a freaking love fest. This is my point. Blue Monday, 50%. Yeah, very good, Richard. That's a great gag. Blue Monday, 50% discount on all new order songs. Great gag. That's a great gag.
Look, might I suggest that ordinarily, I do find it amusing when they, if only they would have known when they said the Blue Monday when it was last year in 2020.
Yeah.
If only they would have known what was around the corner. I don't think they would have described it as Blue Monday.
They would have said, have a happy, fabulous extra Christmas day. I understand when it is. It's the day's calculator, says Kimmy Lashmar, calculated by Winter Blues, Xmas, Chris over, still waiting for pay. Every day is
not to mention that Mr. Taxman is standing by with an open sack, waiting to be in receipt all of your lovely hard-earned cash.
Juliet McDermott saying, better new order than the Smith. Look, going to the dentist, Juliet, with respect, going to the dentist and have root canal surgery is better than listening to Morrissey. Anything's better than listening to Morrissey.
Unbelievable.
Anything.
With you lot.
What, do you like Morrissey?
What? I don't think the Smiths is that bad.
Not Morrison's, the supermarket. Morrissey.
Sorry. Now, look at this. Hang on just a cotton-picking second.
What?
Rosalind Claydon. Great programs, guys.
Well, thank you very much, Rosalind.
Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, may I just say, I know Rosalind as Lynn. So, Lynn, welcome along. Very, very happy to have you.
That's great, because Stephen Marsh, oddly enough, I know him as Doreen. 31st of January, cough up fellows. I know, tax, as if it can get any worse. The point I was trying to make, Phil, and I would like your take on it, if you tell people, it's like saying, you're stupid, or you're inadequate, or you'll never amount to anything. If you pre-program people, they will react that way. It's shocking thing to do. You suppress their abilities, you suppress their feelings of being able to achieve and do things with their life. And if you say to everybody, it's Blue Monday, I just say, sod it. It's ridiculous. Lisa Janes, read my previous comment. I would if I could find it. Where is it? Don't know.
On screen.
Oh,
if
thank
I've
you.
had the flu jab, I wonder how it will affect this one. In other words, how it will affect the COVID jab. I feel for your back pain as my ribs aren't healing very quickly, Russ.
You had I know, horrible rib pain. Is after when I have my car.
Can I suggest, in an age of social distancing, it's probably best if you don't feel Russ's ribs or back.
Well, you say that.
Mm.
You know, got to get your kicks where you can. And now, here's the thing. When I had my car crash, my back pain is all due to the fact that I should have been killed in a car crash 22 years ago, but I wasn't. But I did learn to walk again, so that's a plus. But it just very boringly, I got hit at 60 miles an hour. I got T-boned, and so my hips got displaced permanently, and it's caused all sorts of issues. But I emerged. My car was split in two. Well,
that's what
and
happens.
I emerged without a scratch. This is the most amazing thing. I emerged without a scratch.
Russell, this is what happens when you buy these cut and cover cars.
Cutting. What are they called? I'm going to say this very carefully because it could go horribly wrong.
Cut and shunt.
Thank you. I'd rather you said that because that would have been a disaster. Now, Ed Grossman saying, Russ and Phil, sign of the times, I'm looking forward to the dentist. Well, it's a conversation.
Not quite. Now, Paul Claridge raises a good point. I'm liking this. Thank you, Paul. Yeah. Eddie is a great mate of mine. He's talking about Eddie Nestor. Yeah. When I was first... Stop it, Eddie Nestor. When I was first diagnosed with cancer, he was the first person to call me and take me out for lunch and a chat. He's beaten cancer, he did indeed, and suffered some unimaginable personal tragedies in recent years. He works to raise tens of thousands for charity and stands up for those in need of help often, as happened recently, putting his current employment at risk. Now, do you know what? I stand by what you say, Paul. Eddie is a thoroughly decent man. I mean, I think that it's fair to say that often Eddie and I have, should we say, clashed politically, but we put that to one side because we recognize that we both actually have a streak, I hope, of common decency running through. And he honestly is one of the nicest people you could ever hope to meet. And just on a personal level, I cannot tell you how supportive he's been to me through my radio career and the time I was at the BBC. And frankly, there are more than enough people who are prepared to make enemies out of younger colleagues. And the fact that he was prepared to actually sort of take me under his wing and encourage me, I won't have a bad word said against him. Seriously, he may be that you have political differences, but he's not a nasty person by any stretch.
He's really not. He's really not. No. Kimmy Lashmar, I agree, Russ. To brighten the this genius, and to brighten the gloom, when the vicar came round with condolences, my budgie kept shouting, "Shit, shit, shit!" That's like a Terry and June sketch, isn't it? Terry Scott,
I really
Whitfield, would say, Terry, the vicar's coming.
I really want a parrot just to train it to swear, but I feel like that's the case now, that most parrots are only bought to teach them how to swear. I think there are enough people out there in the world who swear without a parrot being encouraged to do the same.
No, I got a very potty mouth. It's shocking. Morrissey is more depressing than Radiohead. Oh, I don't get it. Portishead, Radiohead, and the Smiths. Don't get it. I've never got it. I've tried, and I'm not. You know, I think, well, everybody likes them. Everybody loves Morrissey. It must be okay. I'll listen because that's the only way to be fair. And I've listened. I can't take this. It's driving me up the pole. Oh no, Julia McDermott. I can raise your root canal. Oh, want to play hardball, eh, Jules? Had new dental implants put in last week. They're probably linked to the 5G masts and Bill Gates. Bill Gates can look on a little screen and see whatever she's eating. When in this charming car, this charming night. I rest my case. I have no further questions. You may step down. Thank you, Mr. Dave. Perhaps you would remain in court. Like this charming man. I don't get it.
That is so creepy because Kimmy would have commented on that. Love it. What can I say? Good minds think alike, Kimmy.
Oh, that's nice.
A good song.
That's the only one I can make. If I had a budget, it'd be ruder, says Glassy Amanda. Now, what does this mean, Ed? You mean bad for COVID? No, you've lost me here. Lost me. Oh, here we go. Ramsey, I hope everyone is getting their vitamin D. Oh, I see what you're saying. According to this, it's good for COVID. Well, absolutely. Vitamin D. I'm taking loads of extra vitamin D, extra vitamin B. Absolutely. I'm doing whatever. Look, we're all doing what we can. We're all doing what we can. And that's all that can be said.
Paul Rose, we just got a cockatiel. And it's in its early stages of learning his surroundings. Every time I walk past the cage, I whistle Darth Vader's theme.
That'd be brilliant. Tyrell's the best. What are we talking about? Chris.
Actually, that reminds me of the time there was this message that was read out on the radio one time when there was some sort of thing about how parakeets had been spotted on Hampstead Heath of some description. And what happened is that some smart so-and-so had messaged in thinking, let's try and catch them out here. And they read out, the presenter assistant read out this little message that said, I've never seen a parakeet on Hampstead Heath, but I've seen a cockatoo. And anyway, it got read out live on air, basically. And the funniest thing about that I think is that it would have had to have got through at least 2 people's eyes,
of course,
not to realize what that was. Curiously enough, that one message did change the course of how messages are supposed to be dealt with on radio now. All messages are supposed to be read out loud before they're read live on air. So that works for this program. But even so, that is technically the protocol. You're supposed to always read a message out loud to make sure it sounds okay.
Well, you know what? We're over 21, and the gang know what they're in for, and they're worse than we are. So I think that's all marvelous. Tyrell's crisps, they're good. They're good. But I can recommend. This is a ridiculous show today, but I can recommend. There's a thing called Snyder's pretzel bits. Fantastic.
Oh my God. Have you actually succumbed to that? That's unbelievable. So all the broken bits of the pretzels from the factories are all gathered up and put into a bag and sold. I mean, they're
delicious. They're fabulous. They're fabulous.
A total genius who came up with that concept.
It is a genius. What can we do with all this crap? I know. Sell it to Russell. He buys bags of it. I love it. It's really good. Snyder's are the bomb. They're so good. They're really good. There's 3 flavors. 4 refreshing fruit flavors: orange, lemon, strawberry, lime, opal fruits made to make your mouth water, fresh with the tang of citrus. 4 refreshing fruit flavors. All before Phil's time.
Excuse me. I think you'll find I do remember opal fruits, but of course they're now called Starburst.
Oh, okay.
They changed the name.
Okay.
Now there's a thought. Brands that have changed their names over the years. For me, I'm still not over Jif turning to Sif. I don't get that. Seriously.
Sif. Sounds like something, if you have a dodgy one-night stand, you go, oh, Christ, I got Sif.
Honest to God, what was the point of Jif turning Sif? And before anyone says, it's to fall in line with the rest of Europe, I know what the reason was. I just don't get it. There was nothing wrong with it being called Jif.
Man. Confusing when you're as stupid as me and Phil. If they change the name, we don't know if it's the same product. That's how thick we are. Snickers. Oh, what's this? Oh, just shake and vaccinate. Oh, that's very good. Paul.
I quite like that.
I did panto. You remember there was a woman and she got, you do the shake and vac and get the freshness back. And she was dancing around. I did panto with her. She played Mrs. Darling in Peter Pan. And I was so excited. I kept saying to myself, that's a shake and vac woman. What do I know?
Bet that's that. Hey!
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Andrea Lucas, going back to the vitamins, vitamin D and vitamin B, I do recommend it. That's what they're saying. Look, give yourself a fighting chance, for goodness sake. Do whatever you can. So there we are.
Oh my God, I've just remembered.
What? You're stewed.
Oil of Ulay.
Yeah.
Now called oil of Olay.
Yeah, because Ulay.
When did that happen?
I think women got misunderstood and they thought, I'll get some Ulay and I'll get laid. I think that's where it went wrong.
As opposed to Olay when they think they're in Spain.
Precisely.
Right. Okay.
I think we've covered that one. You see, all the answers are here. Marathon became, no, which way around? Marathon became Snickers.
That's right. Marathon became Snickers. That's the one.
Why was that? Stephen Marsh, wasn't it Jif? Oh, yes, you're right.
I can only assume it ran its course.
Very good. Jif was the lemon juice packaged in the shape of a lemon. I've got some in the fridge, and they objected. Did they? I think it's unlikely.
Did anyone ever tell, hand on heart, if they've ever looked in the fridge and they've found a little Jif lemon in the fridge that's in date?
Yeah, mine's in date.
Really? Oh, he's off now. He's gone.
Yeah.
He's actually going to prove the point. I don't understand it. It's like every single time I go and have a look for the Jif lemon in the fridge, it's always out of date. Am I alone with this? I don't understand how it happens. Oh, look, he's got a squeezy lemon. Okay, and excuse me. The date on it. I'm here at the moment. He hasn't got his headphones on.
I keep doing that because
Yes,
I want to be the new bloke.
What's the date on it, though?
2021.
Well, what year are we now?
We're 2021.
Yes, and what month does it go off?
I can't read this. God knows. I forget my magnifying glass. 04.
Oh, April. Okay, so it's just in date, but I do see...
Just in date. We're in the middle of... Just started January.
Thanks. Right. Ramsey, that's a brilliant joke about Hampstead Heath, Phil. Well, it wasn't mine. I can't take credit for it. Did you ever see the sketch with George Michael and Ricky Gervais? Not very likely. I can't bear Ricky Gervais.
Can you not?
Oh, don't find it funny at all.
Okay.
Sorry.
There's no point in arguing about it. Do you know what? One thing I learned years ago, there's no point in someone saying, I don't find so-and-so funny. And everyone goes, yes, you're right. You're not wrong, because comedy, if you like it, it's funny.
It's
subjective. If you don't like it, it's not funny. That's all there is to it. There's no more to be said about it. Comedy is completely subjective. If you find it funny, it's funny. If you don't, you don't.
Steve Marsh says that you'll be back in a jiffy.
In a bag. Yeah, what else? I can't think of anything else changed. I don't know.
Ed Grossman, bagels became bagels.
Yes, now that is, that is rather a niche conversation. But Ed, you're absolutely right, because my grandmother, who died 1 billion years ago from Stamford Hill, they were always bagels. And now we have the New York bagels. Abbey National to Santander. Oh, has that? Do you know, I'm so thick, I didn't even realize Abbey National had changed.
That's so true. Abbey National to Santander. Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes,
I haven't even followed it. I don't get involved.
Absolutely, because Santander bought out the Abbey National. So one of the last remaining building societies, and a bank bought it out. But never mind.
What is fantastic, what is interesting is, of course, Santander was no big deal, and has suddenly become a huge player. It was just a minor thing in Spain.
Spain. Yeah.
Now, Andrea Lucas makes an interesting point. She says, "I couldn't stand Tony Hancock. I thought the scripts were genius, written by Galton and Simpson, and Ray Galton's daughter, as you know, sent me a signed copy of the Hancock scripts, which to me was just like getting the holy grail. But I did find him terribly depressing. I thought the scripts were fabulous. But
Ed Grossman says, which one, Tony or Matt? That's very good.
Both. Well done. Both. Stephen Marsh, wagon wheels to quarter of the size of yeah. When I was at boarding school, wagon wheels were enormous. They were a size,
Well, funnily enough, their name came from somewhere. Bizarrely enough, it was because they were supposedly, they weren't obviously, but supposedly the size of a wagon wheel. That's the whole idea. Is they were supposed to be a really large chocolate snack, and then over the years, shrinkflation. Paul Rose, Midland Bank to HSBC.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right. The Midland Bank.
And I tell you another one, and I still call it by its old name. When the heck was it okay to refer to National Westminster as NatWest?
Well, it's called the NatWest. It's not. They don't go on about the National Westminster Bank Limited. It's just.
Well, I still call it National Westminster. I'm sure.
Grossman, Heinz is no longer 57. Interestingly enough, the myth is that they had 57 products, and hence they called it Heinz 57. They didn't. The two most commonly remembered numbers from 1 to 10. If you say pick a number from 1 to 10, most people go either 5 or 7. So when they kicked off Heinz, they had way less products than 57. They called it Heinz 57 because it had 2 numerals that were very memorable. That was it.
Paul Rose, I'm not going to read that word out. Even
not.
No, I'm not going to read that word out, but I tell you one thing that's very interesting that has changed its name as a result of BLM is Uncle Ben's rice.
And now called Uncle Ben's.
No, it's now called Ben's Original. And the reason why they've done that, and I had absolutely no idea that this is the reason why, but the name Uncle Ben apparently comes from that back in the day when they used to have slaves who would go through the rice fields and harvest the grain. Apparently, the term uncle was used for your favorite slave. And so that's where the name Uncle Ben's comes from. So Uncle Ben would have been, allegedly, I don't know whether or not he's a fictional character, but would have been inspired by...
No. The guy portrayed on the portrait of the rice packet was a very famous black chef. True. That is true.
Well, I've been told. I personally am not completely convinced by sort of the whole need to change Uncle Ben's, because I don't think many people realize that's where the name comes from, and therefore they can't possibly think of it in an offensive way. But apparently it is now going to be called moving forward Ben's.
Well, look, we could talk about this forever. But the point is, I don't think there's anybody listening or watching this show ever has had the thought when they go to buy rice and the marketing has worked, you think, I'll get a packet of Uncle Ben's rice because it's the name of the rice that you recall. Like, I'll get a packet of Heinz baked beans because it's the name that you recall and trust. And they don't pick up the pack from Tesco, Lidl, Aldi, Morrison's, Marks and Smarks, whatever, and go, ha, slave, and feel superior. They're picking up a packet. They honestly are just picking up a packet of rice. And I don't think to any consumer it had any other connotation. I accept all the other points.
Paul Rose, you're quite right. We had the Uncle Ben conversation last year. I remember Sen photoshopping a packet of Uncle Sen's rice. Well, you don't remember it completely accurately because it wasn't Sen who did the editing. It was your But let's not dwell on that. That's fine. I can take it.
Andrea Lucas, far too politically correct, and it's all crazy and unnecessary. Well, my view on that, Andrea, and I have said this, is that from Wednesday, when President Harris is inaugurated, they will, and I hope it goes off. I do, in all sincerity, hope it goes off without violence. I'm not actually holding up much hope for that, but it would be wonderful if it did. They will reenact all of this agenda. I have absolutely no fear. And please don't then say, "Oh, you're a Trump supporter." Not. I think he's a dreadful man, but. To be honest, I think that they will get an absolute free ride in the media, absolute free ride for the next 4 years.
They can do no wrong.
They will do no wrong. They will never be criticized. It was the same as St. Obama. They will never be criticized at all. And if you criticize it, it'll be, you're a Nazi, you're a racist, you're this, that, and the other. And some of the criticism, I'm sure, in any 4-year term, there will be things that you won't agree with, but you won't be able to say anything. Ed Grossman, I think we'll leave that one if you don't mind. Ed Grossman, Trump will mount a coup on Wednesday. Well, last week was organized. Of course it was organized, obviously. I don't think people just... I don't think he's going to mount a coup. He's not. What's he going to do? Lock himself in the White House? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. There could be all sorts of horrible, horrible violence. That is quite likely. But it's not going to be a coup. He's not going to try and make himself president for life or some, Mugabe bullshit. It's just not. Trump is finished, but he is finished. It's finished. It's a busted flush. It's over for him. It's over. It's over. But the people who don't believe it's over, well, this is just the beginning of it. It's just the beginning of it. I think you're going to have a very rough time over there. If advertising didn't work, they wouldn't do it, says Ramsey. What are we talking about? The rice again? Yeah. He's having a parallel party.
Wow.
Well, I hope he keeps within the lines. Thank you. Slightly slow, but that's okay.
Look, it's Monday. I'm allowed to be.
Yeah,
I mean, we've got to have some sort of normality, a smattering of normality. If I'm not allowed to be slow on a Monday, even if every day is the same,
Because you started today at 2:30 in the morning, I assume.
I did start at 2:30. So, I was very excited. I found a kindred spirit. Ooh. This morning, after work, I did go and do a little bit of shopping because I like to go as soon as work's finished.
Where's open?
There's quite a few places open. But what I mean is that when I
finish... about 7 in the morning now?
Yeah.
6:30.
Yeah, about 7. So what happens is when I finish work at 6, well, I don't finish work. I leave the office at 6:30 because I just have to go and do the bare essentials at the office and then come home and do the rest of the work from home.
Then you put the Mr. Sheen and the dusters back in the cupboard.
Says 18 things clean or shines umpteen things clean. Anyway, the point is that on the way back from work, I go nice and early to the shops because I figure I'm going to beat the rush and just try and avoid as many people as possible. Yeah. So I did my little round of shops this morning. Normally I go to, on a Monday, I'd go to the fruit and veg shop and I go to a couple of supermarkets just for bits and pieces. One of them being a famous discount one, the other one telling us every little helps. Anyway, all of that to one side. The fruit and veg shop that I normally go to is in Golders Green. Anyway, this morning, discovered a nice new one near Bushy. Oh my goodness me. It's amazing. Cheaper and...
Fruit shop, fruit and veg, right?
Yeah, perfect. So much better. I'm very happy. So if you live in the Bushy area, or if you have a Bushy area,
let them bloody advertise with the station. Don't give them a plug. The hell with that.
No, I'm not. I'm not giving them away.
They can pay us.
Not quite. Yeah. Sure. They can pay some fruit and veg.
Paul Rose, going back to things that have changed their name. Brad's drink in 1893 became Pepsi in 1898.
Wow.
Now you know.
I don't personally remember that one.
I was there. I remember thinking, well, this will never work.
I gave it 150 years.
Yeah. Perhaps, Kimmy Lashmar, perhaps we should have some sound effects so we can be encouraged to make comments accordingly. Well, you're not Pavlovian dogs. You're free thinkers, all of you. That's what's the... Oh God, Paul Rose, you had to go there, didn't you? Cheesy Watsits rebranded as Donald Trump.
Andy Lucas, I suspect if she's off the back of the comment of the fruit and veg shop, she said, "Why not? It's apparently excellent."
Good. Well, they can pay us for a nice little advert. That would be very jolly. Now, Glassy Amanda is saying Tesco Brent Cross. What does that mean? Is that when you went shopping?
No, I think that Amanda means it's still open.
What, was it meant to be closed? Is Brent Cross closed or open?
No, because you said we're still open. I have to recall half the conversation.
I asked. No. I asked where was open at 7 in the morning, not where's still open.
Yeah, okay. Then that's what she's saying. Tesco and Brent Cross.
At 7 in the morning is open. Wow.
Yes, it's a 24-hour. Well, I mean, it's probably not 24-hour at the moment, but it's usually a 24-hour.
Okay. Well, no, they shut at. Don't they shut at 1 in the morning or something? I don't know. I don't know what that. I haven't been. Do you know? I've not been to the supermarket where I used to go every day. It was a standing joke on Facebook. I didn't go. I haven't been for a year now. About a year. Glassy Amanda, I blooming love this show. Thank you for making us all smile. Got to get out more. Amanda.
On the contrary, you got to tell your friends. But thank you.
Yeah, well, tell your friends. That would be lovely. Oh. Excuse me, what?
For heaven's sakes, it's absolutely creaking now when he gets up.
No, I'm not. I bought this thing. I'm a sucker for advertising. I shouldn't be, having written for all those years advertising. Is Brent Cross open? Yes. I think Phil is the king of Brent Cross.
A great deal of Brent Cross is open, but the restaurants are not available to sit in. You can only take away.
Really? So what, they're all sitting on the benches outside, huddled together? What a load of shit. That is ridiculous.
I'm fairly sure. I can't be 100% sure, but I'm fairly sure they've taken the seating away from Brent Cross to not allow people to sit down.
Are the wooden animals still there?
Sadly not. No. They did bring them back for the 40th anniversary, but I was mortified. The ones they brought back for the 40th were only a temporary art exhibition. The original ones, are you ready for this? Destroyed many years ago. How horrific is that? I knew they'd taken them away. I just thought they'd maybe put them in some museum or something. No, none of that. Destroyed years ago. Unbelievable. Could you imagine? I would, if it was me, I would have auctioned off those animals. They would have made a fortune. The wooden animals at Brent Cross were legend.
Glassy Amanda, listen to this. Sadly, been outside. Does she mean not been outside? Not been outside since Boxing Day. Oh my God.
Can I tell you, Russell, there is no greater thrill for a 4-year-old than climbing into a horse's bottom and thinking you've achieved something in life.
It prepared you for working at the BBC, trying to get ahead.
Didn't have to realise I was going to have to go into a Trojan.
Having worked with so many horses' asses. Anyway, sadly, Glassy Amanda's not been out since Boxing Day. Hence, this is a lifesaver. Well, of course, tell my friends, please do, Glassy Amanda. Please, 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 please do. Mrs. Baked Potato says, don't normally listen on a Monday.
I had the wrong settings on, sorry.
It's fine, it's fine. Do you want to do it again? Andrea Lucas.
Thank you, baked potato.
Says, don't normally listen on a Monday as working, but this is a very funny program. Laughed out loud at some of it.
Oh, good. Thank you. We do try. It's a good start to the week. You don't want to have anything too serious.
No.
If you can help it.
It's not. I think this is going to be, in all honesty, because it's the inauguration on Wednesday, isn't it? It's the 20th. Am I right? I got that wrong.
No, no. I can't say it's in my.
I think it's the 20th. I think it's. If I've got it wrong, I'm an idiot. BFPO, hello. Looking forward to seeing you at Christmas. And here's Kathy Kirby with whatever she's saying. I don't know. BFPO, British Forces. What was the PO?
Post office.
That's what I was going to guess. When I was a little kid, on a Sunday afternoon, we'd all have lunch and would listen to the radio. So I got my love for radio, sitting with mum and dad, just the three of us, our brothers and sisters, and because they couldn't be asked, and I'm joking, and listen to the radio. And there'd be two-way family favourites. And because people couldn't connect other than through letter, so all the people who were posted in Germany and Hong Kong said, and for Gunner Sergeant Philip Dave, lots of mum love from your mother, and here's Vince Hills. What was that? Oh, posted overseas. British Forces posted overseas. Oh, I never knew that. Thanks, Ed. Ed knows everything in the world. How does he know that? What? You fainted? Are you all right?
Huh?
You all right? I thought you fainted there for a minute.
No, I haven't fainted. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate you checking, though. That's almost quite caring of you.
Yeah, don't be fooled. Kimmy Lashmar, Wednesday, 4 p.m. on telly. Who you are? Kimmy is? What?
Countdown.
What's
No, she means the inauguration.
Thank you. Yeah, I think this week could be.
Now you know why I'm here. I keep recapping, because if you lot message into Russ, he wouldn't have a clue what was going on. I mean, to be fair, I don't have to think about the rest of the show, and I can't push the right buttons at the right time. But other than that, we get by.
Maybe you see them faster than I do. I don't know. I think Wednesday could be. I'm keeping fingers crossed, but I don't want Wednesday to be a disaster.
I'm keeping my legs crossed. I didn't have the chance before the program started. 4 p.m. Meantime.
Of course, they're saying, well, it's so dangerous that the inauguration for the first time ever should be inside, not outside. But they can't do an inside inauguration because of COVID. So they have to be outside.
Yes,
and if I were those two, I mean, in all honesty,
socially distance. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Biden and Harris. If I were those two, I would genuinely be scared. I would certainly be concerned because they're raving mad. Phil, you are Russ.
You know, Martin, I've got to tell you, this is just me doing my bit for Help the Aged. It's all it is, really. It's care in the community. But we get by, Russell. Anyway, you're going to.
Do you want to go to the toilet? No, I'm all right, thank you.
Are you going to go and have you're going to go and have your vitamins and applesauce now? Right. Anyway,
16 years that was my mum. Oh,
anyway,
I really don't want to go. Paul,
well, we don't have time to go
there. We don't have time for that. Sorry, Paul.
There you have it. Thank you very much indeed, one and all. Great comments today. Good fun. Should we do it all over again on Wednesday?
Wednesday. You blew that.
Sorry.
Ruined
I'm trying to
be going so well. It's going so
I know. Everything else about this program was slick until that point, wasn't it?
All right. until on Wednesday. Thank you, Ramsey. Good point. God Almighty. All right.
We'll see you
Stay
midday.
safe, everyone. Stay